Good evening, friends. This is Naresh, your host from Autocars India, bringing you live podcast for Italian Grand Prix qualifying 2017 season at Monza. It's been a break after the summer, and now we were back in action in Belgian Grand Prix last week, and this weekend we have back-to-back Italian Grand Prix. Just to give you an update what's happening in terms of standings of the drivers. Sebastian Vettel, he's leading the championship this year with 220 points with 4 wins from 13 races. Lewis Hamilton is having 213 points, 7 points behind Sebastian Vettel with 5 race wins. Valtteri Bottas 179 points with 41 points behind the championship leader Sebastian Vettel with 2 wins. Daniel Ricciardo sits at 4th place, 132 points with 88 points behind the championship leader Sebastian Vettel with 1 race win. Kimi Raikkonen just very close, 128 points. Max Verstappen sitting at 6th position with 67 points, followed by Sergio Perez, 7th, 56 points. Esteban Ocon on 8th position with 47 points. Carlos Sainz Jr. 36 points. Nico Hülkenberg 34 points, completing the top 10 driver standings. Felipe Massa 11th with 27 points. Roman Grosjean 12th position with Haas 24 points. Lance Stroll for Williams 13th position, 18 points. Kevin Magnussen in 14th position with 11 points. Fernando Alonso 14th position with 10 points. Pascal Wehrlein from Sauber 16th position with 5 points. Daniel Kvyat 4 points. Stoffel Vandoorne, McLaren 1 point. Joel Palmer and Marcus Ericsson still to get into the points this season around. Talking about what is the progress in practice sessions. 3rd practice session just got over about 1 hour back, and it was completely wet session where Felipe Massa was the fastest in the rain affected final practice, which is virtually has no implication whatsoever. The session was more to get more mileage on the cars. So here we go, we are all set for thrilling action now, I would say, because it's going to be a wet qualifying and we are going to have a race start which is going to be on dry, which is expected. Air temperature is around 14 degrees Celsius, track temperature is 17 degrees, pretty cool, and Pirelli tire, as we all know, are very, very prone to the weather and the temperatures. In terms of just to take you how the season has progressed as of now, the 2017 season started off in Australia with Sebastian Vettel winning the first Grand Prix of the year, followed by Lewis Hamilton winning at Chinese Grand Prix, then followed by in April Bahrain Grand Prix was won by Sebastian Vettel. And then surprise factor Valtteri Bottas, he finally came into winning mode with Russian Grand Prix in his grab. 5th race of the season is Spanish Grand Prix, which was won by Lewis Hamilton pretty comfortably. Then we had Monaco Grand Prix, which was won by Sebastian Vettel, and Fernando Alonso in this race was not racing because he went to NASCAR for one-off break from Formula One. However, he could not finish the race because of his engine failure over there too. In June, Lewis Hamilton won Canadian Grand Prix, followed by Daniel Ricciardo's surprise package. He won Azerbaijan Grand Prix, the second Grand Prix of June month. It was followed by Austrian Grand Prix in July first week, which was won by Valtteri Bottas. Then Lewis Hamilton winning British Grand Prix, a remarkable race by him, and many records were tumbled in that race. In the end of July, it was Hungarian Grand Prix, which was won by Sebastian Vettel. And in August, after the much awaited summer break, Lewis Hamilton brings home at Belgian Grand Prix, winning that Grand Prix pretty comfortably, keeping Valtteri and Sebastian Vettel at bay easily and comfortably. And here we go. Today we are in Italian Grand Prix weekend at Monza, and we expect some great action because of the rain which has come in, and Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen definitely comes in a play as strong contenders for this race. We are going to have 2 weeks break after this, and we'll be heading to Singapore, Asia Action for Singapore Grand Prix. We had a wet weather altogether, with rain lashing heavily in the free practice session 3 just about an hour before, and drivers were able to come on the track only for 15 to 20 minutes, and Felipe Massa topped the timesheets during that time. Weather with rain lashing heavily in the free practice. So here we go. We are at Italian Grand Prix weekend at Monza, considered to be home Grand Prix for Ferrari, and we have all red color around the circuit for qualifying. Friends, do remember to subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on right bottom corner of your screens. I'm Naresh, your host from Autocars India, and bring you live action for Formula One Grand Prix as they go in this season for qualifying and race days. We have qualifying session just about to start in some moments from here. To give you a bit of update once again regarding Italian Grand Prix. Monza is one of the great tracks of Formula One, which is as old as 1922. Whereas there had been changes in the circuit over a period of time, and some great corners like La Pista Magica. It's a magic track. That is what Italians call this track as. It's one of the track which Ferrari considers as home race, and this year Ferrari being a bit strong, very strong I would say, they can really give a fight to Mercedes. Give you some updates of the track. So we have no rains whatsoever, and hopefully we have a great qualifying session unfolding in just a bit of time. In fact, rain is falling still, but this track dries out pretty quickly. So we do expect some action very soon. Track temperature is about 17 degrees with 14 degrees of air temperature. So we have just about few minutes. Even though rain is still falling down, qualifying session will start off. So all drivers are getting into the cars and getting strapped to go for the qualifying. So in just about few minutes time we are going to start the action. Please do remember to subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on right bottom corner of your screens. For this live podcast from Naresh, your Autocars India host, brings you live action for Formula One Championship, World Championship, right from the day one till the end of the season, with all the interesting proceedings happening throughout the season. As we all know about Robert Kubica, he's been in the summer break tested for Renault once again, and we expect him to be a strong contender in Renault next year. Fernando Alonso future still not confirmed, though Mercedes is firm to take Lewis Hamilton and Robert and Valtteri Bottas for next season. Ferrari has also confirmed signing Sebastian Vettel for another 3 years till 2020, and Kimi Raikkonen has been given 1 more year extension at Ferrari. So Ferrari and Mercedes seems to be pretty firm with their driver lineup. However, there are rumors that Fernando Alonso may go to Williams, but they are purely the rumors, I would say. And if Fernando Alonso cannot get the driver's seat, he may opt to even go a full-fledged season in IndyCar racing, NASCAR series. So all the drivers are ready. Here we go. Qualifying session 1 starts off. Green lights. 18 minutes to go for this session. So qualifying one session starts off with every driver looking to come out on the track, have a feel of the track. And already drivers are reporting that conditions are getting worse, visibility is pretty poor, and it is still raining, let me remind you. So Massa, Palmer, Ricciardo, Verstappen, Van Doom, they are all on the outlap, with Mercedes also out on the track. Ferrari complaining of conditions getting worsened. Valtteri Bottas also in his outlap and starts the time lap now. Let's see what does Valtteri Bottas does. He is the first driver on the track with a speed of 270 kilometers per hour. Goes at turn number 1 and he cannot take a turn. So conditions are definitely not good. It will be an interesting one if the rain keeps falling. Will the stewards still continue with the qualifying session? So Grosjean also complaining, they don't know where are they going. Bottas tried in his time lap, could not turn the car in the turn number 1. He goes to the rescue way and comes out on the track. Here Lewis Hamilton, he's on a time lap now. It will be interesting how Lewis Hamilton negates the turns. It's pretty much straightforward track here, but tricky turns in sector 2, which are very, very important to negate properly. Lewis Hamilton just about to complete his lap. Grosjean still complaining. And here we go, Lewis Hamilton on top, 1 minute 40.128 seconds. And Kimi Raikkonen is behind him. Ericsson goes 1 minute 43 seconds. Kimi Raikkonen will be the driver to watch for. He's pretty fast. No, he is not. He is pretty much down. Sebastian Vettel goes second. 1 minute 42.394. Very impressive lap from Lewis Hamilton here. Roman Grosjean is third, and here somebody goes off the track and session has been stopped. Session has been stopped. And who is he? Is the Haas, and it's a red flag. Roman Grosjean. Roman Grosjean comes out of the car. He had a big blow when he hit the barriers. He had no control of the car whatsoever. Session has been red flagged. All cars will be heading back to the pit lanes. He just goes to the wet track and absolutely no control. Very lucky Roman Grosjean. Roman Grosjean mentioning it was very stupid to allow session in these kind of conditions. So Grosjean becomes the first casualty of So certainly tough decisions by Charlie Whiting, race director here. So Roman Grosjean car is being lifted on the trailer, being cleared as the session red flagged at 13 minutes 13 seconds to go. Give you a little more details of the track. This track is 153 meter elevation from the ground level. That's the highest point of the track, and lowest being at 140 meters from sea level. It has 3 sectors on the track with 2 DRS activation zone. The track is pretty straightforward with high speed, one of the highest speed achieved on this track. Ruben Barrichello holds the fastest lap record with 1 minute 21.046 seconds in 2004. 1950, the first Grand Prix taken place at Autodromo Nazionale Monza circuit. Number of laps in this circuit 53 with circuit length of 5.793 kilometers, race distance of 306.72 kilometers. So session turning out to be very interesting with red flag already out, 13 minutes and 31 seconds to go. Qualifying for Italian Grand Prix at Monza. This is the second weekend after we had the long summer break, and Belgium Grand Prix won by Lewis Hamilton comfortably. And this weekend we are here in Italy, Monza, where we did not expect the wet weather, and we are with the wet weather now. And very interesting statistics as the qualifying session 1 started, though Charlie Whiting definitely had made a very brave decision with rain still falling, and he allowed the qualifying session to start. As the car being cleared for Roman Grosjean, all the cars in the pits with red flag on, 30 minutes 31 seconds to go for qualifying session 1. Though circuit is very good in terms of drying out of the rain water, the only problem is in the start-finish straight, which is a low line, and there is a lot of water logging over there. You are live with me, Naresh, your host from Autocars India, bringing you live podcast for Formula 1 qualifying session for round number 13, Italian Grand Prix at Monza, with Roman Grosjean car being towed away. all the cars sitting firm in pits. So safety car gets ready to have an inspection of the track. Let's see what happened this time around. Safety car comes back on the track to have an inspection. Very soggy in turn number 1 and 2 and difficult for drivers to control the car. As safety car takes the inspection, goes around on the track, around the parabolic, reaching turn 4 and 5, sharp turns at turn number 4 and 5, also a bit heavy where the rain falls in on this track at turn number 4 and 5. And remember, drivers have to really brake hard when they are moving on 300 plus kilometer speed, and they have to brake hard on turn number 4 and 5 too. Another parabolica which starts at turn number 6 and 7. All the drivers sitting quiet and firm and comfortably in their cars as the safety car crosses turn number 8, 9, 10. Lot of water logging over there also, but doesn't seems to be that much. At rain is still falling, but not with that much intensity. Bottas was also complaining the same thing when he tried to start his time lap and turn number 1. He complained of huge aquaplaning which was happening in the approaches to turn number 1. As safety car completes the lap and comes back into the pits. We just wait for the decision of Charlie Whiting. What does he decide to move ahead? This is your host Naresh from Motocars India, bringing you live action from Monza, round number 13 of Formula 1 2017 season, with Sebastian Vettel leading the championship. Friends, do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on right bottoms of your screens. As the red flag is still on, the safety car has just completed the inspection of the track. We are going to hear whether they decide to continue the session. We already have 5 minutes down in this session, 13 minutes 31 seconds to go for qualifying session 1. Few of the drivers had actually set the times in this lap till Roman Grosjean hits the barrier, aquaplane, and goes out of the session. Sebastian Vettel is leading So safety car has still no decision has come from the stewards whether the qualifying session will restart once again after the red flag has come for Roman Grosjean car who hit the barriers. Bit of frustration in pit lane because they don't know whether the qualifying session is actually going to restart. As the drivers just gets ready, qualifying session 1 is seemingly to be starting very soon. It will be very interesting if the rain still falls and we have a wet racing tomorrow. We know the heroics of Max Verstappen last year in Brazilian Grand Prix, where no other driver could control the car in those wet conditions. However, Max Verstappen did it beautifully in that race. We are still to hear whether we are going to see some action after the safety car has gone on the track and inspected the track. As the rain continues to fall, we are still waiting for the session to resume. All drivers surely will be frustrated by sitting in the cars and not having any decision whatsoever. As safety car has already inspected the track for last 5 minutes or so. So we are waiting to hear from the Charlie Whiting, the great of Formula One, whether the session is going to start or no. Just to give you an update, what is how the season has unfolded 2017. Sebastian Vettel is leading the season with 220 points with 4 wins, and this is the 13th edition of this season. Lewis Hamilton following Sebastian Vettel of Ferrari, 213 points, 7 points behind Sebastian Vettel with 5 race wins. Valtteri Bottas comfortably in 3rd position with 179 points, and at one point of time before the summer break, Valtteri Bottas was posing a very strong contention for Drivers' Championship, but Belgian Grand Prix has not been so good for Valtteri Bottas. Daniel Ricciardo 132 points, .88 points behind the leader with 1 race win. Kimi Räikkönen at 5th place, 128 points. Max Verstappen 67 points. As we still wait for the session to go live, all the drivers are strapped in their cars, waiting some decision, itching to go back on the track, I would believe. If we talk about performance of Kimi Räikkönen this year around, it's been really good in qualifying sessions. He's picked up in terms of qualifying battles with Sebastian Vettel and doing pretty good in 2017 season. As the session is still red flagged, no action whatsoever on the track, and pit lanes, all the drivers still strapped in their cars, awaiting the green light to come on and waiting to go back on the track. Still awaiting for some action to happen on the track, where rain seemingly to be holding on as of now. So the safety car inspection second time around has been happened, and it has been decided that it will be another 15 minutes where the track inspection will take place once again, and further action will be decided after that. So it's pity actually that rain is still falling and it's pretty strong now. However, stewards have decided they will take another call in another 15 minutes time if the race can start, the session for this qualifying can start actually. Stay tuned, I will come back in 15 minutes. Stay tuned on this channel, and in the meantime, when the rain is falling and we do not have much action on the track, please do remember to subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on right bottom corner of your screens. This is your host from Autocars India, bringing you live podcast for this qualifying session of round number 13 of Monza Italian Grand Prix. So session has been delayed until 14:45, starting the session. And drivers must be itching to go out on the track and spend some time on the track rather than sitting in the pits. As the drivers getting ready to go in their cars, we have about few minutes when the session will be decided whether we are going to have some more delay or we are going to start the qualifying session. Season where all dominance of Mercedes came to a halt when Ferrari picked up their pace, picked up their reliability in the race weekends, and the tough challenges came from Ferrari. Safety car, as we talk, goes on the track and reviews the condition of the track. It seems to be rain is just about holding on for some time now. As the safety car travels through the corners, it seems to be a little soppy on the track, and doesn't seems to be that they're going to allow the session to start once again. Just to be discussing on the driver's future, Fernando Alonso is one of the drivers where he is in a very difficult situation to find a ride next year around. And similar situation is for Carlos Sainz. He also might move out next year around because he doesn't have a confirmed race seat. Also Daniel Kvyat, we have to be keeping our fingers crossed for him if he will be with Red Bull for Toro Rosso next year around. In the meantime, this year Sebastian Vettel is leading the 2017 season with 220 points, 4 race wins. Lewis Hamilton just behind him, 7 points. He'd taken off half of the points last weekend in Belgian Grand Prix and brought down the gap to just 7 points. He is second in championship with 5 wins. Third position is Valtteri Bottas with 2 race wins, 179 points, 41 points behind the championship leader. Fourth and fifth position for Daniel Ricciardo, Red Bull and Kimi Räikkönen are pretty evenly matched, with Daniel Ricciardo winning 1 Grand Prix earlier in the season. As the rain has tapered off a little bit and track seems to be a bit of dry, we may expect some action very soon. As the drivers are firmly strapped in their cars, just waiting for race director to take a decision on whether the session can continue. Same with all of us, waiting eagerly for the session to start. Most of the drivers do think that they will get some action on the track. As the safety car goes around and takes another run and comes back into the pits this time around. Main straight definitely looks much better than last time around when the red flag session had started. As the safety car comes to a halt, we'll be getting some action very soon. We all are waiting for some news. But if you talk about, we have still plenty time, and even if the session cannot continue and somehow rain starts coming down heavily, the session may be suspended, and tomorrow the qualifying can happen on Sunday also, which has happened in the past. That will be very interesting to see if that happens. Oh, so there is another 15 minutes when another inspection will start. So next update will be at 1500. So please stay tuned and I'll bring you more updates. 1500 local time when the safety car will go and take another inspection on the track. In the meantime, do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting the right bottom corner of your screens. This is your host Naresh from Autocars India. So friends, as we are all waiting for the action to start in Monza for the qualifying session, we still have to await till 1500 hours local time for safety car to go back and take another inspection and see if it is safe for the drivers to go on the track and have the session running once again. We still believe that session will be started sometime soon. In the meantime, there was an interview with Charlie Whiting, and Charlie Whiting has said the weather is swirling around and we can't get a good idea of what might happen. He says the safety car still feels that there might be aquaplaning on the straight and we do not want any accidents. So that is what Charlie Whiting words, but definitely he believes there is going to be some action around as the safety car goes back on the track once again. There is a lot of standing order on the start-finish straight, which is a concern on the track. Drivers once again getting strapped. Kevin Magnussen in his car seeming to be pretty relaxed, and all the drivers, they're just getting ready now. Balance of the drivers getting into the cars, hoping that they will get some action once again as the Pascal Wehrlein gets into his car. Daniel Ricciardo also going in the cockpit and getting on with his gear and getting strapped in the car as the safety car moving around on the track and inspecting the condition of the track. This time around comes around and looks to be there is much lesser wetness on the track as we saw the last time around, but challenge could be now the visibility on the track. Even Hamilton, when he was one of the drivers who topped the timings in the time lap before the session came to red flag. So there was huge aquaplaning which was happening on the track, especially in the sector 2. They were not comfortable at all, till Roman Grosjean actually aquaplaned and he went and hit the barriers and brought the red flags on. And here we have another 15-minute delay. So there will be another inspection which will be at 15:50 to give you the update. As all are getting frustrated, including friends and viewers all around the world, for this moment to happen once again, and we have a delay for another 15 minutes for an inspection on the track. and actually the rain has increased now, the intensity has been increased, so it doesn't seems to be we are going to have some action anytime soon, but we are keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that it does not happen. So it's all a frustration building up where all the fans of Formula One are thinking whether the session is actually going to happen, because we had this way back in 2015 when we had the wet Saturday and qualifying session had happened on Sundays. So this seems to be a very high chance to repeat the same this time around, as we see another 15 minutes delay, and next inspection is going to happen at 1515 hours local time, Monza. Stay tuned and do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on your right bottom screens of your screens. as some bad news is coming through and we are looking at stopping this session as the rain has not stopped and it's still continuously falling, as the safety car is on the track once again for 15:15 local time inspection, and seems to be it's pretty wet on the racetrack as the safety car, and it's pretty heavy actually. The rain is pretty heavily falling now, so it doesn't seem to be positive that we are going to have any more session further. However, we'll wait for the official outcome of the safety car inspection, which is going to get completed very soon, as it is in the sector 2, car is moving around. And visibility also doesn't seem to be a very good one here. Just for your information, Fernando Alonso will be carrying 35 places grid penalty in this race tomorrow. So for him, it practically doesn't mean anything for this qualifying session. As the safety car goes around, now further information, as safety car informs, there will be a 10-minute warning will be given before any kind of restart. So still no positive news about the restart time, as the rain starts to intensify once again, and we'll look for another update at 15:30 local time. As the safety car comes back in the pits, and we do not see any positive coming out whatsoever, as this session will be again reviewed at 15:30 hours local time, and it will be interesting to see whether we are going to see some action today. And stewards have decided that there will be 10 minutes warning which will be given before any kind of restart whatsoever expected for the qualifying session. In the meantime, in the paddocks, there are a lot of negotiations going on for Fernando Alonso's future now, because he is in a very, very fragile ship right now. As Honda is also keen to keep Fernando Alonso, but Fernando Alonso is very firm. If he doesn't have a future, he is not going to stay around in Formula One unless he gets a good race seat, which is close for Mercedes and Ferrari surely for next year. So as the umbrellas coming out for the viewers and for the fans out there at the stadium, at the circuit, at all around the world, it doesn't seem to be any race action. I'll keep you updating on the progress. Please stay tuned and do not forget to subscribe my channel by hitting right bottom corner of your screens. Stay tuned for live action coming on Autocars India. Your host Naresh, Autocars India. Stay tuned. So as expected, friends, session is further delayed for another 15 minutes, and it's been a bit frustrating for all the teams and viewers and the people who have come at the grandstand and at the circuit. It's pretty frustrated as the next session has been told to look into is 1545 local time. And it doesn't seem to be that session is going to get live anytime soon, as the visibility is also getting deteriorated slowly. So as the session has been delayed, and next update will be at 1545 hours local time at Monza. We have no option but to keep our fingers crossed and wait for the weather to get better, which doesn't seem to be at all. As in the first session, most of the drivers had went on the track in fact, and Roman Grosjean, who was complaining of aquaplaning, did actually aquaplane on the straights and banged the barriers, and the session was red flag. Since that time, it's been an inspection every 15 minutes around, but no positive thing coming out as such. It doesn't seem to be very positive as of now. As we still hope that some action may come alive, but it doesn't seem to be that we are going to get some action anytime soon. Let's wait for another update from the safety car at 1545 hours. Friends, do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on your right bottom screens of your right bottom corner of your screens. This is Naresh, your Auto Cars India host, bringing you live action for Formula 1 season, covering every Grand Prix, qualifying and live sessions. We'll wait for the rain to ease off and session to come into play. So yet another time the safety car has gone out on the track, as the condition doesn't seems to be positive at all at this point of time, and all the drivers with their warning time for 10 minutes, if any time race has to start again, session has to start again. So safety car is on the track just reviewing the condition of the track, but it seems to be the rain has eased off a bit, but still the track is quite wet as of now. However, we will hear the official wording from race control. Also, just to update, Roman Grosjean car will not be allowed to do any work on the car, and it's in park firming. Also, the same frustration is developing for the drivers, whether to stay on the track, stay in the pit, stay in the cars. As like viewers, all of us want some action, but unfortunately there is no action whatsoever on the track as of now, except the safety car on the track, AMG car right on the track. As the safety car goes around the track, Felipe Massa also mentioning about the frustration which is being developed in all the drivers and in the paddock engineers, as they do not know what exactly is going to happen. They can't keep waiting for 15 minutes time all the while and await next updates. So another 15 minutes have been given by race control as we wait for the conditions to improve. So next update at 1600 local time, after the safety car does another inspection. So as we see session being further delayed till 1600 hours local time, so all the frustration can be observed in all the viewers, including all of the viewers watching around the world and waiting for the session to go on, which doesn't seems to be positive at this point of time, and another 15 minutes time has been given for a fresh update. Friends, I am your host Naresh, bringing you live podcast for this round number 13 of Formula 1 Grand Prix at Monza, Italian Grand Prix 2017. Do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on your screen's right bottom corners. We'll keep on bringing the update as it unfolds at Monza this qualifying session. as the another 15 minutes time goes down for another safety car inspection, there are a lot of efforts being made by stewards and marshals. They are literally using the squeezies and super soppers to clear the water on the start finish straight, as racing engineers and staff, support staff for the drivers are also trying to clear the pit lane entries. It's a very nice, at least they are committed, at least they are trying their best to have some action on the track, which doesn't seem to be very likely, but still every effort is being given, and also some entertainment for the fans as Max Verstappen takes one of the cameraman's camera and goes around from pit lane to the control box. And also we see as Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas are trying to play some video games in their resting areas. So this is no action on the track whatsoever as of now, but definitely a lot of good vibes going around off the track, with drivers, with support staff, with viewers, with cameramen, with media, with all. We do not know whether we are going to see some action, but surely we have a lot of action off track going on here. Friends, this is your host Naresh from Autocars India. Do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting the subscribe button on your right bottom corner of your screens. I am bringing you live updates as it is unfolding at Monza, the qualifying session of 13th round of Formula 1 2017 season. We still don't know whether we'll have some action, but surely the enthusiasm and motivation with the viewers is surely there, and all are waiting for the action to happen on the track anytime soon. As the safety car will also go down the track and we see the super chopper running on start finish straight with blowers, hot air blowers running to take the water out from the track. As all the drivers are also feeling bit frustrated by not sitting in the cars and showing what they are capable of on the track. This time it will be interesting for the safety car will go out and see what updates they are going to give, as blowers running to dry the track all over and super soppers are also running. Rain has indeed stopped, so this looks to be some action may be expected sometime soon. It will be interesting to see the safety car going on the track, however. Surely the track is getting better minute by minute now. We do not know how much time we'll get to have the session start once again. And also it's not raining too hard at this point of time. As in the pit lanes, Formula 1 drivers are getting trained to be a cam, to be a cameraman. So Max Verstappen tried. Now this time around Daniel Ricciardo tries, and he actually goes to the garage of Mercedes. That is typical Ricciardo. How cheerful, and he wants a close look of everything. And Mercedes guys are saying, please go out. That's very interesting. Nobody would have done this better than Daniel Ricciardo. And he's getting a thumbs up from all the mechanics from Mercedes. He is in fact very creative and always smiling at all times as he heads towards the grandstand with his cam on. As we await another update, we'll keep you posted. However, the bad news is it is still too wet to resume qualifying. But rain definitely has reduced and I would say abated from the track, and concentrated efforts are being made to dry out the track. Friends, do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on your right bottom screens. I will continue to bring you live updates as it unfolds.